If you like what you hear in this podcast and want to help us keep the lights on, then you could support us on Ko-fi for as little as a £1 one-off donation. The links are in the episode description. Thanks for your support. This is Skip, the podcast where we tell you, in our opinion, which albums are truly unskippable and which ones belong in the skip. I'm Mike.
I'm Rob.
And this week we are taking a look or a listen to 4 by Foreigner. Yes, it's not the only album we've had suggested that is titled 4. More on that next week. This week, though, we're talking about 4.
Also known as Foreigner 4.
It is also known as Foreigner 4. It's a bit of a... Apparently, in a Spinal Tap-like situation, there was going to be a bit more of an interesting front cover to this that got basically completely cut by the record. So they had to redo the art, and then they just had a guy do like the
number 4.
Yeah,
like the television-inspired background.
Yeah, the movie reel starting thing. And yeah, it's also... I might be stealing a bit of your trivia here. But it's also the first Foreigner's album to be produced as a 4-piece. They went from 6 members down to 4 members. It's also their 4th album, so all the stars align on the number 4. And weirdly, we do have a good number of albums called 4 that are also in the list. Sadly, not 4 of them. That would have made for the perfect, like...
So, if you have 1 or 2 albums called 4... then please get them over to us at skippod@gmail.com.
This is the most number 23 shit that we could have started the show with. Like, it all connects at 4, which is a hell of a thing. Anyway, Foreigner.
Good for us. That was a terrible pun, Rob.
That was a...
yeah.
That's how good the pun was. It literally was on fucking satellite delay. Went over my forehead. That's a pun, baby. Foreigner, then.
Fucking hell.
Fucking prick.
And this one was actually submitted by my father-in-law.
It was.
He has a huge love for this album, and it's one that he used to have on in the car constantly when he picked me up.
So this is one you've definitely had a bit more than a passing memory with.
This is one that I had never heard until I got into his car.
I thought you were going to say until we
got it submitted. No, I have listened to this album. It was something I didn't discover until like early 20s.
So it's far from your first foray, then, is it?
No, it's
we're
not
keeping
one of
this. No, we're not doing this gag anymore.
It's not one of the first 4 albums I listened to. No,
that's a shame. Foreigner's a weird one, right? Because like
you can't. Don't say that out of context, mate.
Yeah, don't clip me. Fucking hell. The band Foreigner.
There we go.
It is a weird one for me. My mum really loves Foreigner. Like, really, really loves Foreigner. I've had, like, mega mixes of this. Like, I've certainly had greatest hits albums of Foreigner in the house. When I got my first MP3 player, do you remember when? Now, here's some, like... this is some, like...
MP3 or MP4?
MP3s. Oh, wait, no, the MP4s, like, do you remember? This is some, like, UK cryptid shit. When you used to go to car boot sales and you get MP3 compilation discs on CD, and there'd be multiple albums, and you drag and drop them onto your knockoff MP3 player. Is any of this ringing true with you?
No, I never had that.
For those who were in the know, basically, I don't know whether this is anything outside of the Midlands. Every week was basically, oh my god, a trading standard's going to turn up. Because they would be selling like copy games and like MP3 compilations and a lot of like weird like mixtapes of stuff like that. I definitely had a big all of Foreigner's albums at the time thing, as well as like Rainbow and a couple of other bands of this era. So I've got more than a passing understanding of Foreigner. And then they kind of reappeared in my life again when a number of their songs made it onto the track list for Rock Band, the video game Rock Band. I don't know why I said it in like that.
The video game Rock Band.
I think it's because I have to say the band Foreigner, and I have to kind of
didn't
like...
Didn't they feature on Grand Theft Auto as well?
I'm fairly certain that at least one of the tracks must have been on Vice City, surely. I'm going to look that up because I feel like I should have an encyclopedic knowledge of that movie.
Waiting.
Yeah, Waiting for a Girl Like You could be on there.
I think that might be on GTA 5.
Oh, really? It's that recent?
So, Waiting for a Girl Like You was in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I Want to Know What Love Is was in Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. Oh, it's Dirty White Boy in Grand Theft Auto 5.
There you go.
Dirty white boy. Dirty white boy.
I was confident that there was something on Vice City, but that makes sense that it was on the emotion station in that game. All of that, like the music they chose for Vice City was so good. It surely must have been a gateway drug for a lot of like classic rock for people.
Oh, it was for me. Like, we've talked about like musical transitions in a couple of episodes, but back when I used to be like really into like garage and stuff like that, playing Grand Theft Auto with my brother, he'd always take the control and he'd always have like the rock or soft rock stations on. So it'd be between this, Billie Jean, and like a couple of other like huge songs, Mr. Broke Her Wings.
Yeah.
Oh, that just takes me back to my childhood.
It's when you used to put the cheats in to make the cars fly.
And you just be like, you just take these broken wings and just go into the air and just zoom. And if you'd put cheats in and tried to get into a helicopter, if you pressed take off before the blade started spinning, your game would crash.
Would it actually?
It would, as I found out. I was doing a mission, didn't save for about 2 hours, back before auto saves, children, and got in the helicopter for the mission. If I pressed X before the blades would take off, the helicopter would try and take off, and the game would crash, and they'd have to restart the console.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's excellent. Oh, man. I mean, here's a fucking tangent already. Have you tried going back to GTA Vice City since?
I haven't, but it is on Netflix at the minute.
Yeah, and kind of
weirdly.
Like, yeah, it's a weird
I tried playing it on mobile, I just could not.
It is jank as shit. Like, it is a 2002 video game for certain. But like you were saying about the saves, like having to like go out of your way to go and save in your house was so annoying. And also it just like the aiming sucks. Like it just kind of like atmosphere wise, it's unbeatable.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's super classic, but like fuck me, it's rough to go back to.
Oh, 100%. Like we've been spoilt with like Grand Theft Auto 5 and the modern day controls of games.
I, of course, look forward to when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out this year.
And none of us can play it.
I was going to say, he said knowing it ain't going to fucking happen. Like, it's already been pushed back to this year as we speak. Well, not as we speak. We're recording in 25. This year, 2026, the year of our Lord. Why did I say it like that? Is supposedly the year that we're getting Grand Theft Auto. And it's back in Vice City. And the trailer music was like Tom Petty, so again, contemporaneous music to bands like Foreigner. So I'm just wondering what's going to be on there. What are we going to see more of Foreigner? Are we going to see more, kind of like, I don't know, what polls can we have? I've said Rainbow. I'd love to see Rainbow on a Grand Theft Auto. This is a hell of a tangent. Should we just go back to the music?
Well, we are. We're still talking music, but we've gone to Grand Theft Auto music. But I think that's a key part of this. Like, there's some bands on those sorts of games that I think those games influenced a lot of people's musical choices growing up. And this is certainly one of them. I knew the song. I also knew Juke Box Hero from a friend who was obsessed with this one CD he got free in the Daily Mail, which was a weird compilation. It had like half of the track of original tracks. So like halfway through, it skipped to the next one. I don't know whether it was just a broken CD or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, I heard the start of Jukebox Hero a lot.
just one guitar. Skip. Then it's done. That is bizarre. Oh man. Newspapers, when people used to buy them, used to have free shit in them.
Well, a copy of Donnie Darko randomly in the Sunday Mail.
Oh, that is unlocking like a part of my. I genuinely think I had the copy of Donnie Darko that came in. It
was like in a cardboard sleeve.
Yeah, they all were. And then shit rags like the Sun would do like Laurel and Hardy every day for like a month,
and nobody would buy them.
I did.
Wow, you bought the Sun.
Well, I didn't buy the Sun. I've never bought the Sun. I've never willingly given anybody that works for the Sun money. But my parents used to read the Sun. They used to buy the Sun in for the place where they worked.
Did they take the middle pages out?
No, they did not. They also did not take the third page out. We just used to have free. Just you paid 20p and see tits. It was a different time. Also, was a different time was the 1980s. More specifically, 1980, which is when this album came out, I think.
It was released on the 2nd of July, 1981.
Oh, piss. I thought I got
so
it right.
Close. But yeah, it was an evolution for the band, shifting from a harder 70s rock towards more polished radio-ready sort of stadium music.
Mm.
And this was produced by Robert John Mutt Lange. This became one of the defining albums of the early 80s rock, and it was a commercial juggernaut packed with hits that still dominate classic rock radio.
I mean, true. I think Waiting for a Girl Like You is on this record, and you can definitely keep hearing that. I think Absolute 80s will play that on the hour, basically.
100%. So, something to consider about this producer, Mutt Lange. This album was produced fresh off the heels of AC/DC's Back in Black.
Now, that is interesting. It's interesting because that is, whilst a commercially viable record, certainly is a lot heavier than this one. And I don't feel like you really get the footprints of AC/DC or any of their production styles in this one, because this is the one where they just fully started leaning into synth.
Yeah.
Which kind of sets the trend for the decade going forward.
But do you want to know why they lean so heavily into synth?
Losing two band members, I assume?
That, and to coincide with the launch of MTV.
That's why they did it?
MTV was one of those sort of channels. It launched literally in August 1981. And at the time, synth, heavy in the 80s music. You have to admit, synth was everywhere.
I mean,
so
it's a decade ruled by it.
Oh, yeah. Adopting synth meant that they got playtime. It was more ready-to-rock arena rather than the heavier sound that they'd had in previous albums.
Yeah, like, you definitely got a bigger sense of the instrumentation, because the early stuff, sort of like Cold as Ice and... I'm trying to think what the name of the album is. It's the album with Double Vision on it, and then there's the other one. I'm really good at names. Basically, the first three albums prior to this were a lot more kind of like hard rocky.
You had Foreigner, Head Games, Double Vision.
Oh, the album's literally called Double Vision.
Yep.
It's got Double Vision on it. Oh, perfect. There you go. But like,
Double Vision.
You can hear much more of a layered kind of 70s hard rock kind of thing going through that. And that's because you've got more personnel. I mean, realistically, if anybody were to ask you to name people from Foreigner, it would basically only be Lou Gramm and Mick Jones anyway. And they stayed on for this iteration of it as well, which is the kind of the softer, more radio-friendly, like you say, more MTV-friendly version of the band, which I imagine was quite commercially successful.
It was very commercially successful. So, this actually held a number one spot on the Billboard 200 for 10 weeks. That is over 6 million copies sold in the US alone.
Damn, okay.
And multiple singles became rock staples, and it actually helped cement them as one of the premier AOR bands of the early 1980s, which is album-orientated rock.
That's what that means?
Album-oriented rock, sorry.
I genuinely never heard that. But
I'd never heard that before doing my research for this. But yeah, so they hit number one, the Billboard 200, number 5 in the UK rock album. The UK album chart. The year-end chart in Germany, they hit 16th in the top 100 of 1981, and then third in 1982 for some reason. The top 100 of 1982, the year after it came out, it hit third.
Germans were just a little bit behind us. They kind of had a bit of a situation going on at the time. The interesting thing is it didn't go to number one in the UK.
So here's something else random and funny. So this album, for some reason, hit 13th in the Hungarian physical albums chart of 2025.
So, what? Look, I know that politically they're going very backwards, but
what?
Did they just go, you know what? None of the music released this year was any good.
Foreigner.
It's entirely Foreigner.
It's just every album just ranked.
Do you think it's just a big protest against their president, who sure as shit does not like foreigners?
Maybe. You never know.
Oh, God.
But yes, it actually sold 6 million copies in America, so 6 platinum, 100,000 in the UK, so gold stated, and 500,000 copies in Germany.
It did very well. It did very, very well. It's the one, I remember reading something, it was like an interview with Lou Gramm, kind of, I read it in the lead up to the show, and he's the one where if he had to point to their best work, he'd point to this album, he'd point to 4. I don't know whether the sentiment is shared by somebody like Mick Jones or not, which is weird that it's then, because Foreigner because Lou Gramm's American and Mick Jones is British. It is Mick Jones, isn't it? I'm sure it's Mick Jones, that's his name.
Yeah, Mick Jones.
Yeah. So it's one of these things where we've got kind of this transatlantic kind of feel to it. but it didn't go to number one in the UK. Foreigner didn't go to number one on the album charts in the UK until the next album, which was the one with I Want to Know What Love Is on it. And this is all predating that, which is bizarre, because I think I've heard this album, certainly the bigger tracks, the more well-known tracks of this album, I would say as much as, if not more than, songs like I Want to Know What Love Is, which is probably their biggest hit. So, all of that said, what did you think of it as a full album? Because we've both got history with it. Did you enjoy revisiting it?
I did. And one thing I will say, for my first listen, I didn't realise it had finished. I just put it on in the background while I was doing some work, and yeah, it just passed. I was like, oh, I'm randomly hearing an instrumental version, a stripped down version of one of the earlier songs, which we are not reviewing, by the way, because that is part of the extended album. So those two final tracks, which are like stripped back versions of their biggest songs off the album, we're not considering.
Yeah, it's just the original 10 tracks that is up for discussion today. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm kind of with you on that. It was interesting to hear the pacing of the album for a band that I don't think I've really sat down and listened to an album start to finish, despite owning several of them on a copy MP3 for all these years. I had like a mix of songs on an iPod. I'm fairly certain I had 4 in its entirety on my old iPod. I couldn't tell you if I'd even listened to it all the way through once, but I'd go to stuff like Juke Box Hero and listen to that individually. So going through was interesting, because I can basically say, outside of Juke Box Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You, and Urgent, I hadn't really got much to say about it before this show.
I'm exactly the same predicament. Like, I was a fiend for shuffling albums. I love a good shuffle. So yeah, I'd never actually listened to this album in its entirety. Didn't own it. None of my friends did. As I say, we just had a really weird CD that would have the start, just one guitar, then,
just no guitars off.
Then it go to a new song, cutting back water.
That's a weird one.
It was really odd. I don't know whether it was one of those like it, buy it kind of CDs, like a demo CD, like
demo of the album.
Time Warner's favorite 4,000 tracks. Sign up for $99.99 a day to get this album.
$99.99 a day.
I don't know. That's what some of them were doing, weren't it? Like Napster. Fucking £15 a week on ringtones that you couldn't use.
Oh my god!
Some of them were like £6.50 a day.
Yeah, they were like, people got scammed to shit with it.
So for people that need reference, growing up in the early internet age, when we had phones that could access the internet and polyphonic ringtones were huge, and people loved the Crazy Frog, whatever the fuck that was. People would join these mobile subscription services for ringtones, not realizing that they wouldn't just be paying £4.50 to £6.50 for one ringtone. They'd join a weekly or sometimes daily subscription plan, which was impossible to cancel unless you text the word stop back to that number, which would incur another £4.50 charge.
Mm-hmm. It was scumfuck central.
Yeah, the amount of people in my school that had bills for like hundreds, if not thousands from it, not realising what it was.
It's crazy.
And then turned around and went, you should not be able to put a subscription on someone that's under the age of 16, and got the charges reversed.
Did you ever, because I don't think I ever paid for one, but do you remember having like the ringtone composers?
Oh, I love those.
I did. I tried to do I Miss You by Blink-182, but I couldn't get that bit. I could do. That's a piece of piss, but I couldn't do the I couldn't, like, there wasn't enough room to do the notes, so I had to like drag it out. So it would send like I'm like, that's not correct. But I was a dumb baby. So,
yeah, but also the technology was not there.
Oh, it sucked. We paid money for that shit.
The funny thing is, we paid a fortune for ringtones to now have our phones on silent 24/7.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hear that thing ring at all.
I mean, I like having mine on because it makes you chuckle every time.
I mean, yeah, skull trumpet notwithstanding, I don't want my phone to make noise. Prefer if people just didn't ring me at all, but there you go.
But the times have changed. Back in the day, you'd want people to ring you to hear your version of Hey Ya by Outkast in polyphonic ringtone. And you'd be very jealous of people that could have like those 2 seconds of real music as their ringtone.
Oh, yeah. Or some... Do you remember the one that was just a bloke yelling the word message?
Message!
That annoyed
The wife is calling.
Oh, yeah.
Warning.
I am stood next to a wanker. Like, fuck me. We really had no culture kind of prior to, like, what, 2010 in the UK?
Yeah.
It was just fucking bark
just-
gags and shit ringtones.
Yeah, really, really bad ringtones. The man who's on the bus.
Just weird. Foreigner.
Yeah, going back to Foreigner.
I have no lead back in. So Foreigner. Yeah, no, interesting to go back to it, but let's talk about the best tracks on the album, because I feel like we've got to just get stuff like Waiting for a Girl Like You out the way, because like you go, it's iconic, it's a classic, it kind of, well, do I say this? Do I commit to saying this? Yeah, go on then. It does sort of transcend the record and the band a little bit, even though it's probably worse than I Want to Know What Love Is, kind of in terms of its composition. But it's become this iconic 80s sound all of its own. Even if it's not something I put on by choice, I kind of feel like it has to go in the good list kind of automatically.
I'm in the same exact boat as you. Like, listening back to it, realistically, it's not the best song ever produced. It can be a little bit boring apart from that. Comically low res synth solo.
Yeah. It's not a complicated song, is it?
It's really not, but I think that's what we love about it. It's so simple. It's easy listening. It's GTA vibes. It's perfect driving music.
Yeah, it is good driving music.
It's just really nice to relax to. I think that's why it goes so well, because they went from heavier tones to soft, easy listening, which is what the industry needed back then.
Well, it's certainly what it rewarded anyway.
Yeah, definitely rewarded. Like, the fact these lasted the test of time is because they weren't just making huge rock songs. Like, fair enough that, like, AC/DC, they're still at it today, and fuck me, how they at it today. Their songs have pretty much all sounded the same since like the early 90s, where these kind of changed it up and made something that would stand the test of time, which you've got to appreciate.
Yeah, it's weird that it both stands the test of time and yet just feels entirely evocative of this specific period.
Yeah.
That kind of it would be replicated by many bands after it, the kind of the one finger melody that you're talking about. Like, do, 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 do. Most of Human League songs can be played on one finger, but they're all iconic. And it just is this very specific point in time that it harkens back to. I don't think you can say the same thing for Jukebox Hero, which is the other big song off this album, which kind of feels like the logical conclusion and therefore the curtailing of everything that they were doing before this album. This feels like it would fit better onto something like Double Vision than it would onto what 4 ends up being. But that's not a detrimental point. And I don't just say that because I loved playing this on Rock Band. I genuinely think it's a great song. It's got like these kind of late 70s dynamics to them while still being relatively polished at the same time. I just really like it though. So like, I'm just entirely biased. This is my favourite track going into the album.
I do like the song, but hear me out. Random as it may be, does this song remind you of Pinball Wizard by The Who? Because to me, it has a lot of semblance to Pinball Wizard, which came out 2 years prior.
It does sound very similar.
12 years prior. I got my dates confused.
It's a little bit of a difference.
No, it feels like the logical conclusion of Pinball Wizard to me. It's like they're very similar in tone. And it's like, even though it's got a different build-up of like of music, it feels very close to it. I
actually do hear that now that you've said, because the cadence and the rise is very much the same. I think what Pinball Wizard has that this does, like the opening of this is kind of like more original. as it were, like that boom, 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 like the bass-led intro. And then when the guitars kick in, just one of them, by the way, just one guitar.
Just one guitar. That's the only part I knew.
Just one sheet. It does plenty.
Oh my God.
We're not sponsored by Bounty. Are they still called Bounty?
No, they're called Plenty.
Like...
That's why one sheet is plenty. God damn it, Mike, get rid of tongues.
We're also sponsored by Marathon this week and Opal Fruits. I'm just having fun now.
And Choco Pops.
What was Choco Pops eventually?
Choco Pops?
They were called Choco Pops. That's genuinely what they were called.
Do you not remember the whole campaign where you could text in to say which name you wanted them to be called?
No.
Yep.
I thought they were always called Cocoa Pops.
No, they were called Choco Pops.
Choco Pops.
It's either Choco Pops or Choco Crispies.
I started this episode talking about UK cryptids, and this fucking feels like one of them. It's like this and the kid that on the Frosties advert that apparently died.
That's great!
Once you pop, that's great. Do you remember that? This is another tangent.
The rumour that he randomly committed suicide.
He committed suicide, or was killed in a train crash, or moved to South Africa, or was killed in a war.
Or is actually still alive and probably hating the fact he was in this advert.
I mean, that's probably the truth. I choose to believe that he's actually Tupac.
I think he's Michael Jackson.
He's living in the Nevada desert. That was a tangent and a half. Yeah.
In Disneyland.
Is there a track on this one that you didn't know or weren't particularly familiar with going in that you've come out going, oh, I'd want to highlight that?
So I've got Nightlife,
mm-hmm.
which I think is the perfect way to open the album.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's just really strong, full of energy. Break It Up. I really like that song. It's just so catchy. It's just like, you're gonna do. It's like it fits in with the theme of the album just so well. And Luann, because in this era, everybody needed a song that featured a random woman's name.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But why does this work so well?
What's interesting about all of the songs that you just said is that I put those all in the worst tracks list.
We're not doing well these first two episodes.
We are not agreeing. If there's a song, and now this would be interesting because I want to say the ones that I like the most. The one to me that stood out and was probably what I would call the best foreigner song you've never heard was Woman in Black.
I did like that song.
Oh, okay, cool. Excellent.
It's just on my top.
No, that's fair. But like, I don't know. I think the opening got me. I was like, ooh, that's powerful. And it was different to what they were doing on the previous albums, but it's still relatively a hard rock opening, which I really liked. And the other one that I was like, I eventually ended up coming round on to actually liking quite a bit, was the track directly following it, which was Girl on the Moon. I don't know whether you had any feelings about that.
I have no issues with that track either.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other. I'll very quickly then, because we'll talk about yours in a minute, but I'll just very quickly do Woman in Black, Girl on the Moon. Woman in Black, what I liked about it was that it was a little bit actually kind of like interestingly put together, and in all the ways that the Him album from last week was actually kind of like a little bit risky and sexy. There's a genuine narrative of like being uncontrollably and otherworldly attracted to somebody, where I think the rest of the album doesn't really skirt up to. It will go somewhere between kind of like schoolyard fascination and kind of like romance novel kind of true love, but it would never do I don't know why I think you're hot. And that's what this song does really, really well. It's a little bit playful and a little bit mysterious, and Jesus Christ, the opening's great. And Girl on the Moon is the other fucking end of the spectrum, because this is 100% an 80s weed anthem, and I can't describe it in any other words. It doesn't help that the first lyric, what is it? It's something like,
it's night again.
Yeah, time
for my mind to go wandering.
I thought that he was going to talk about wanking, genuinely.
Off on a journey through space and time, in search of a face I can never find. And like, apart from that, it recovers pretty quickly to being a very kind of like dreamy, spaced out, kind of pensive song. But it's 100% about smoking the sweet Mary Jane. I don't care what you say. I mean, when you've got the lyric, that night I saw her, we never met.
Yeah.
What? What?
You were an illusion. I was on the weed.
I was high when I wrote this song.
I mean, probably true. But that's the vibe I get. It's that kind of like more low, chilled out thing. But you tell me why you liked Nightlife, Break It Up, and Luan.
So, Nightlife, as I say, I just really like the strong opening. I just feel like it was a really good way to start the album. I mean, we just get vibes from a song. It was just one of those where I just listened to it. I was like, yeah, it was really great opening. Like, there wasn't anything specific about the song that made me go, oh yeah, this is like in my top tracks. It was just, I enjoyed listening to it. I think if you can enjoy listening to a song, then definitely has to be up there. Which were my others? Sorry, I am not organised. Break It Up. I love how powerful his voice is, and it's got that really strong guitar work of the do 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 do, like really strong guitar that just stays throughout the entire song and makes it into a more of like a rocky anthem. And then Luan, because every band needs a random song about a woman, as I say.
Throw a dart into the phone book and go, right, it's Luan this week then, lads.
And it's the most American name that I've ever heard. It just made me chuckle the first time I listened to it. But I really enjoyed it, and I don't know why I enjoyed it so much, but I did.
I think that one especially kind of is the only point in the album where it feels retro. Because like, even though this is like a 40-odd-year-old album now at this point, it doesn't feel like, it feels evocative of a period in time, but it doesn't feel like it's leaning into kitsch.
No.
It doesn't feel like it is a facsimile of like anything before it. And this is a reason why I put Luan in the bottom list, because this is the one that felt like it was doing that.
But it feels a bit rapey looking at the lyrics.
Oh my God, I'm glad you picked up on that, because I didn't want to be the one to bring it up.
Why do you run and hide? Why'd you keep your love inside?
Genuinely, the first note I've got, the headline note I wrote for this was, this might have been a nice surprise hit if it didn't feel like the rock and roll nonce anthem.
We met one day. Then you ran away.
At school. Like, I know that he's probably just writing this about a girl he fancied in school. And, like, but you're 4 albums deep, lad. Probably don't talk about hanging around a school. Like, I don't know why so many acts from this period failed to understand that songs about, like, literally giving physical chase to school-age girls would not age well.
Regardless of what age they were when they released the music.
Oh, they don't care. If anything, it was like, the more risque, the better. It's such a weird, like, vibe.
It is a weird thing, but it's a catchy song.
Yes, it's a good rockabilly song, right? I'm not faulting the music here. I only put it in the bad list because, as you said, it's the fucking nonsense anthem of the year.
As usual, I didn't look at the lyrics before. I was just there vibing.
What I will say, right, like, it's relatively fun and campy and retro, but, like, my God, did they not think about how badly this would reflect on them?
No, they didn't. And admittedly, looking at lyrics now, I probably would move it out of my top songs. Yeah. I didn't look that deep into it, and now I regret my decision. However, have you got any dislikes?
That was one of them, if only for the lyrical content. Oh, boy. It's the other ones you mentioned, unfortunately. Nightlife, I don't have too much negative to say, other than I just thought it was a little bit generic. I thought lyrically it did feel like something that if you'd have told me that AI wrote it, I might have believed you, had not knowing it was a foreigner song. And I do think that this is actually a problem going on, not just on this record, but throughout Foreigner's other work. Sometimes the rhyming structures are a little bit trite. And that's a fairly minor complaint. You know, I'm not looking for great prose. I'm looking for catchy stuff. But sometimes the rhymes were just a bit weird. Nightlife especially just felt weak. I'm not going to say bad. It was weak. So don't put it on the bad list. Put it on a weak list. The bad list, though, would well and truly start with Break It Up. And I'm sorry, because I know you enjoyed it. I don't know why you did enjoy it, though. Because this song is repetitive as all shit.
But it's camp rock.
It's camp, yeah. Mostly because it genuinely feels like what would happen if you asked Andrew Lloyd Webber to write a Queen song. That's it feels like someone wrote this for a stage production about a hard rock band. And it's this. It's more synthy organ where a proper piano might have given it a bit more of a punch. This kind of feels like where the lack of those two additional members might have made the difference in saving this one for me. I just think it isn't helped by the trappings of the time it was made in. The rhyming sucks. It's worse than in Nightlife. And yeah, I just think it's the contender for the worst one on the record, given that I don't think any element is firing on all cylinders. Whereas like Luan musically is fun, entirely a nonce album. If
it's nonsensical.
It is nonsensical. Fucking hell. And then I don't have too much to say about the rest of the tracks. They're kind of... I forgot about Urgent. It was one of my favourite Foreigner songs before we came into the review, so I don't have anything new to say about that. I'm going to win.
That's on my list of dislikes.
It's not good, is it?
It's just so lackluster.
I don't know why everything in the production is like muted and muffled, but if I can find redeeming qualities, or I can explain away things about the contemporaneous elements, like Break It Up is probably bad because of the time it was produced in. I'm going to win is genuinely just a boring fucking generic ass song.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like a really bad American blues song.
Yeah.
Which kind of sets it apart from the rest of the album, which is like pop, rock. This is like gone into country blues, and it just doesn't suit the rest of the tone of the album.
Yeah. It kind of feels like if somebody had to write, like how Sylvester Stallone's like old now and can't do anything. Imagine if they were like, right, lads, we're making Rocky 8. Get fucking Sylvester on the phone, and we need a training montage song. But the last time he ran to anything over like 100 BPM was when the year still started with 19. Have you got anything slow for him to walk to? And it'd be this,
like a training montage of Clint Eastwood getting ready.
Clint Eastwood talking to a
shower,
talking to a chair. It's very plodding. I think it really kills the pace, unfortunately.
It does. In terms of the rhythm, it's very similar to the rest of the album, where this song kind of goes against the curve. I can see probably why they were trying to do it, to give a song to the people that don't really want just fast-paced songs, but it misses the mark for me.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything interesting with lowering that tempo down, where I think Waiting for a Girl Like You and Girl on the Moon succeed, even in the kind of the slower pace, is that they choose to go in vastly different avenues. Waiting for a Girl Like You is an out-and-out ballad, and Girl on the Moon, as I theorise, is almost definitely a Tokathon song, but like they've got distinct vibes, and I think I'm Gonna Win doesn't have a distinct vibe. It's just watered down, cold as ice. It's just tepid as water, if you will.
Tepid as water.
It's not doing anything new. It's not really kind of changing the feel of the record. It is just, we needed 10 tracks. And it's a shame, because I don't think the record is bad as a whole, but I do think that there are elements that have either aged poorly or just clearly didn't have the effort put in needed in order for it to become like a Rumours level insta classic, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. It's just, this album there are parts that feel really like perfect for the time, and there's parts that just do not fit and would be something I would not put in if I was producing this album.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty bad. There's only 10 songs on the entire record. None of us have anything to say about Don't Let Go. And it's the closing track, and I have literally one note, and that note says, it is absolutely fine, but it does not feel like a meteoric closer. It's just another serviceable song that we should have heard towards the top of the record. Which, to be fair, that's quite a long note. But yeah, it's just
fine.
It really doesn't end. It doesn't start with a bang. I mean, I know you like Nightlife, but to me, that's not starting with a bang. That's very much like a warming up. And it doesn't end with a bang. And the dynamics of the middle are just held down by, like, either, like I say, either things that are a trapping of the time it was made in, and therefore to be evaluated with that in mind, or just kind of not really giving us anything that we'd particularly want. But you got to think about the amount of tracks on here that are bona fide hits. Juke Box Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You. I'm not including Luann with that. Urgent, and in my opinion, Woman in Black. Like, at the very least, just those 3 songs, which are the songs we all knew going in, but you know them. Yeah. And that is a testament to how good they are, and they do not feel out of place in the record.
But the big question is, not are those individual tracks great? Does the whole album have enough going for it to make it truly unskippable?
That's the question. And it's one that I've gone back and forth on. Do you want me to go first?
I mean, feel free.
I want to put it unskippable. I want to do that because I don't think we have any classic rock kind of representation on that wall so far. But the show isn't pick your favourite songs from a genre.
And it's not have one of each genre in this list.
No, that would be unauthentic.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in doing that. I could confidently skip past 4 or 5 songs, and that's reaching half the album. So whilst I recognise it's good, it's good to great, it is not perfect. And in this show, we are looking for perfection. So it goes in the skip for me.
I completely agree with your sentiment. And yeah, I did say when we started this podcast, this album disappeared the first time I listened to it. Sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it means that there's not enough there to keep you listening. And I think with this one, I had to go back and like pick individual tracks to listen to because I could not remember them.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
The fact that you can't remember tracks kind of show that they're not strong enough to be really unskippable. For me, a true unskippable album, if we go back to like the Kendrick Lamar one that we looked at, that was an incredible album because every song kept you hooked. And while I'm terrible with song names, so I couldn't name the tracks, if you played it, I'd be able to know it's from that album.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, I completely agree that this album has to go in the skip.
It's a shame because I like Foreigner.
However, I think if you go back and listen to a lot of like 70s, 80s rock or pop songs, you will see some weird ass lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it was so funny that bands like the Bloodhound Gang got so much flack for like lyrics like "You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals." But if you go back and look at some of these songs, they're talking about like fancying 13-year-olds.
Oh, yeah. There were multiple songs about fancying 16-year-old girls, which is like, it's already close to the fucking knuckle, right?
But some of them are even lower. Like,
oh, yeah.
I swear there was a lyric like, "Oh, she was only 13" or something like that.
You know what I mean?
You know
like
what I mean?
That kind of thing,
like,
yeah.
You look back and you go, "Jeez," but that was the common thing for lyrics to be like that. It's not until you really, like this album and that song, and you in particular, open my fucking eyes to this.
I'm sure that like what they meant was that it was meant to be nostalgic.
That they were in school at the time.
Yeah.
But if they're playing that song live,
yeah,
as 70, 80-year-old men go, "I was waiting outside school," it just goes into a different level. And I think you have to put yourself into the perspective of you're looking at their past. Yeah, I get that. But some of the, like, it's just the way that they've written it, the way that they say it. Yeah, that's opened my eyes, and I cannot no longer in good confidence enjoy that song. So thank you fucking much.
I've ruined Luann for you, which is good.
You have. You've added that to my skip list. I might even block that on Spotify now, you bastard.
Genuinely, the album went in the skip because it seemed a bit rapey. Oh god!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh man! Okay, I don't feel bad that didn't make it onto the unskippable list. That track specifically. There's clearly a lot of love for this album, and you know, if you have anything at home that you think rivals for, I'm not going to say in terms of its endangerment to children.
In terms of its listenability.
Yes. Then you can send that along to us at skippod@gmail.com. That's skipod@gmail.com. Or you can go to our Linktree, linktr.ee/skipdpod. That's where you can find us. All the links are on Instagram as well. You can send in your suggestions for future albums. Please try not to include ones with creepy ass lyrics.
And of course, this isn't just open to you listeners. If there's albums that your friends, your parents, anyone close to you listen to on a regular basis and they believe are completely unskippable, have the conversation with them, get their album over to us with a little explanation of why they've included it as an unskippable album, and we'll be sure to discuss it. We're not afraid to tackle any genre. We will listen to whatever you put in front of us. If you saw the list, you would be surprised.
We have eclectic
artists such as Kylie Minogue, Miley Cyrus, Alice Cooper, Kate Bush, Meatloaf, even through to Frank Ocean and Chunk, no Captain Chunk.
It's an eclectic mix, to say the least.
Oh, yes.
So thank you very much for listening to this episode. We hope to see you next week, where we might be tackling another album that also might have to do with the number 4.
And we might accidentally kick the beehive.
A little bit. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.